Oh my God, DeDe got a podcast?
What?
DeDe got a podcast.
What's the tea? What's the vibe? What's the hype? Yeah, we live. Talk a little this, a little bit of that, a little bit of love, a little bit of that shit. That's DeDe. Go DeDe. Go DeDe. Go DeDe. You a bad bitch. You a savage. Making money is a habit.
Welcome to DeDe's Dope Podcast. I just go right in, okay? This is where you can catch a laugh. I always say, you're going to laugh now. We're going to laugh, and you're going to get the tea. Before we even get started, I just want to say something, you guys. First of all, I'm happy these next guests are in because y'all are icons to me. I think you don't even know it. Steve Nice, DJ Steve Nice right there. And we're going to get into everything that Steve does. And then, of course, DJ Poison Ivy right there. As DJs, hold on a second. Yeah, as DJs now, I wanted to talk to y'all about something, but I want to say something you said. You came in immediately. Poison Ivy comes in and gives out compliments. You want his shorts, you want my shirt.
All of that.
You want it all. I mean, like, I was like, dang.
She wants to wear it once, they match.
Yeah. But here's the shirt thing I want to tell you guys real quick. This is Killer Mike's, right? Remember when everything was going down with Black Lives Matter and what happened with George Floyd, everything that was going on. Remember when he got out there, he told everybody he had to speak. The mayor's office, I believe, called him and said, come speak, Killer Mike, in Atlanta. And he said, we all got to plot, plan, strategize, and mobilize. And I was like, I love what he said. I'm a fan. And I was going to tell you, you have to see if anybody, if you gotten a chance, this was about maybe 4 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, he had a show on Netflix. And it was basically about Black folks working together and supporting Black and buying Black and what could happen. One of the best episodes, that's what I said, Steve Nice, you was so like this. One of the best episodes, I don't know if you remember this, Poison Ivy, the one where he was talking to the Crips and the Bloods and trying to tell them if Hell's Angel could have a brand out here, their merchandise.
Yeah.
He was like, then the Bloods, the Crips need to do something like that.
I mean, and that's the reason why I came in here. Honestly, I think apparel is one of the quickest way, especially if you have an audience and you have a platform. There's really only so much you can say verbally. But if I have the microphone and I'm talking, but I'm also wearing my messaging, there's a lot that you can tell about who I am and what I believe in and where I spend my money about what I wear. So it's something that I've become increasingly more intentional. So y'all gonna have to come up out of them before I head out.
Okay. All right. I love it. All right. And so I just wanted to put that out there because I'm a big fan, and I know that Steve Nice is a very pro-Black man. I just want everybody to know that. Did you know that, right, Poison Ivy? You know he pro-Black. Let me tell you what's so funny. Before we even started the podcast, and I was just doing, we were sitting around, we were talking, and I was talking to Steve about, so my husband, Serena Williams is retiring, right? And so my husband was watching the movie again, King Richard, which, by the way, shouts out to Will Smith, because I tell everybody this who knew Hoochie Daddy shorts. I realized as I was watching that when he brought it back.
They started there.
It started when they saw Will's legs and when he played King Richard now.
Is that where it started?
I think so. What made somebody want to wear bitch cut shorts now? What made men?
Because they were short.
But that was in the 80s. You were supposed to, everything was that short.
I'm talking about who wants to wear them now, though?
Okay.
Steve,
right.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have pictures of yourself back in the day with them Hoochie Daddy shorts?
Yeah.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I posted one on Instagram.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was laughing at it?
Yep.
Because
They couldn't believe how my soccer shorts, they were.
Soccer?
Mm-hmm.
You played soccer?
I played soccer all my life.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I was playing for the Red Devils, and I had the afro and these short white shorts.
Hold on, with the Red Devils, with a black team or a white team? I can't tell with that name.
Combination of both.
Okay, Red Devils.
Yeah.
He said soccer.
Yeah. Nowadays, right.
said
Well,
soccer.
my husband played though too.
Fair.
But it was so interesting. You played soccer, but you also played football in high school, but you were the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you played soccer. Everybody knew you could kick a ball.
Exactly.
Were you the goalie like my husband? He played.
No, I was left wing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's really interesting. Did you play?
I did not play, but I am a full-on soccer mom. I watch a lot of sports, but no, didn't play. I'm African too, so there's always that stereotype like you don't run and you don't play soccer.
Really?
I'm like, nah, those genes.
Where are you people from?
Nairobi, Kenya.
Good for you.
Yep,
You're so lucky.
yep.
You know you're blessed, right?
You know what? Honestly, I will say that now I do.
You didn't think it back then when you were a kid?
Never had a clue. I hated it, despised it. I moved to Texas, and one of the first things I did was to practice losing my accent. And everything about me that was African or Kenyan. And now I'm like, y'all, this is cool.
Really?
Like, what?
Ain't that something?
It's
Isn't that
different.
something?
It's
you know,
different.
I work with Lady Jade, whose dad is Jamaican. I remember when I first got to the station, she didn't understand when I kept saying to her, you can stop saying African American. Baby, you need to say you Jamaican American. I said, because let me tell you what's so great. At least you have a culture. You have a land that you're tied to. You have, when you just a regular ass African American who don't know where you came from in the United States, you just here.
No, seriously, we don't have a culture.
No,
We're not tied to
land.
anything.
No land to go back to, which is why, can I be honest with you? And people tripped out. And some of my friends were like, I can't believe you jumped the broom at your wedding. And some people even tripped that I still eat soul food, right? Yeah. Love it. I said, that's all we got now. Like, that's what I grew up on. That's what I know. And the little bit, you got to at least give credit to those slaves that came through that tried to hold on to something. They tried to create something out of nothing.
And I think one of the most beautiful things I'm seeing now is, quilting, braiding, cornrows. There's so much that I don't think is being taught and passed on to our young ones. Because listen, I have a child who is African American, and so teaching her like, cornrows are just not cute hairstyles.
Right.
You know what I mean, it was a mode of communication.
Yes, it
so
was.
We need not let that go. But also, y'all always can come to Kenya. Look, we'll claim y'all. Like, look, come back.
I want to go.
Come back.
Think, Now, have you ever done it, Steve? You guys, where were you? You're born and raised here. Like your people are in the United States.
Yes.
You guys you can't track it back to Kenya, Jamaica.
No.
You either.
No. I mean, of course, they have all the ancestry.coms.
You haven't done it.
But I train.
Shout out to the feds. No, I'm joking.
Yeah,
I ain't doing that.
I can trace my folks back to Crockett, Texas, and Brooklyn, New York.
All right, that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can trace mine back to DeRidder, Louisiana, and Oregon.
Y'all want to hear something funny? I actually did one.
You did?
My friends were like, "So you're gonna pay to find out
that
something you already know?"
Yeah,
I did.
And what you find out?
I'm 91% East African, but there's 9% of me that's Central African, whatever else. And I also did it on my daughter to figure out, what she pulled from me and what she pulled from her dad. I will say they're fairly accurate.
Do you know what they said, though? You guys know what they're saying. Not only are they saying they catch people and criminals through the DNA, right? I don't know what's going on in my family. I ain't trying to get them all locked up. But here's the other one. But they also said they're using it now as weapons, right? To create weapons against us, which is a trip.
They are.
The same thing they're saying about, basically, is it China when it comes to TikTok?
Yep.
Learning about us and everything, and everybody's not paying attention. We're too busy like in our world that our zone and in our own little heads and mind thinking, oh, this is cool, but people using it in a whole nother way.
I mean, what are we giving TikTok?
Yeah,
that we haven't given everything.
Facial recognition, which is that's all it is. Facial recognition, or maybe your habits.
Okay, so let's go back to 2009 before we started with social media, and then we could get rid of everything. You're giving them all that right now.
They already have it.
They already
refining it.
So if you're not doing anything illegal, then they don't need to come for you.
Let me tell you something.
If you smuggling dope, you might want to get off TikTok.
Yeah. All right. So listen, I really wanted you guys in though, and we can talk about anything. I can already know. I can see it right here and there, and that's what I love. I want to talk about everything and anything. The one thing that I had to realize about podcasts, that's what I like, right? I wanted to get you guys in because I want to talk about music.
Okay.
I want to talk about the state of music, right? DJ Steve Knife, you've been DJing for how long?
Since 1986.
Damn.
I've been professional. That means I got my first paid gig in 1990.
Really?
My first residency.
How'd you get into it? Because here you were playing football, soccer, and everything. You saw somebody, said, I want to learn it?
Yeah, my inspiration was my Uncle Oliver in Brooklyn, New York. I was up there visiting. It was the summer of '77, before the blackout. And he was DJing.
Hey, hold on a second. DJ Steve Nice gives you history in the middle.
He said before the
77 before the blackout. What blackout? This is me. And what blackout we talking about?
They had a big blackout.
Okay, but
it was that movie, The Get Down, or the Get Down.
I don't know. I feel like I'm in a Spike Lee movie.
Right.
So I was at my grandmother's house and he was DJing the block party. And it was right. He was the setup was on the top of the stairs, and I was just actually excited about seeing all the people and seeing these big speakers. And I was walking around, and actually I was walking around. They couldn't find me, so my aunts came back and snatched me up and said, "You stay up here with your uncle, and so we can watch you." I'm like, "Okay, fine."
Oh, you must have been a badass. It's the bad kids. They gotta watch.
I was literally up. I was like, "Why are all these people?
Yeah,
where's this music come from? Oh, this is great."
Wow.
And so I sat up there, and my uncle was like, I was watching, and he was playing records, and he was like, "You want to help me DJ?" I was like, "Yeah." And so he was like, "Okay, pull up that record." I was like, "Okay." Yeah. So I'm take this record and play it. I said, "Yeah, play it." He played it, and the crowd went crazy. I looked over. I was like, "They're doing that from that record that I pulled?" He was like, "Yeah." pull me another. And I start pulling up all the records he had.
Wow.
And he would play them. I was like, okay, I want to DJ. I want to do what Uncle was doing.
You wanted to DJ from that moment on. How old were you?
I was 7.
Dang. What about you?
Man, I learned. I mean, I've been musical my whole life in one capacity or another. But when I was in college, I was working at the radio station, and for me, it was just one more instrument to learn. So shout out to my frat brother, who, Josh, DJ Animosity. They were both some of the biggest DJs in the city at the time. Yeah, I gotta excuse me. Talking with Invisalign.
I know you haven't. I'm watching. I used to have it.
Oh Lord,
I had to take that thing out.
I was gonna say first. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But so he legitimately dropped off, and for me, thank God, I learned on 12. So he dropped off 2 techniques in a mixer and a 12-inch Behringer speaker, and he said, "Here, figure it out." And I mean, I always used to have house parties and all of that, so I was like, why not? And that was when. And I feel like I spent a lot of my career chasing after my career because it grew so fast.
Yeah.
Like in a month, I was DJing, huge stages and whatever have you. So yeah, that's where I started.
And please do not think I'm being disrespectful, but I got to be honest about it. Are there times that you think to yourself, did it go so fast because you're a female, or were you that good?
It went so fast, and it went so fast because of all the other things that I feel like I brought to the picture. A lot of it, to be honest, credit to a lot of DJs. I respected the craft so much that I didn't want to just be called a DJ just because I could push a button and play a song. Right. I really wanted to master.
Okay, I felt like a shot was fired at me, Jesus, because they call me a DJ. I can't do nothing. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
But yeah, no, I wanted to make sure I could, crowd control. I could scratch a little bit. I could get busy, right? Because I don't want to be called out and put up in front of a real DJ. I didn't want to ever get that disrespectful. So I feel like I had imposter syndrome for a very, very long time.
Really? Really? Okay, so now let me just say, you guys are DJs. Let me tell you something about Steve Nice. So I had heard about Steve Nice through my brother. My brother does radio. My brother said he always used to on some of the stations he was on. And I used to do the show with Doug Banks, nationally syndicated show in the afternoon. We were doing a mix in the afternoon. I said, you got to get Steve Nice. I was like, I didn't even work here. I don't think I even worked here yet, or maybe. And I was like, we got to get this dude, because I would listen to him on K104. Yeah. I was like, you got to get this dude, Doug, and let him. Then I look up, I'm at Essence one time. There's DJ Steve Nice on the stage. I said, well, my God.
Hey, look at God.
Right? I said, this dude here is the dude. I said, Doug, we got a good one, because he's at Essence. What's the biggest crowd you played? Was it Essence, or was it bigger? Anything any bigger than Essence? Where have you played that was the biggest crowd?
Where haven't you played?
Right.
Essence is probably the biggest. I mean, 50,000 a night for 3 nights a week for like 6 years. That's huge.
Clap it up, boy! Wow. You did that.
Wow.
Ain't that something?
No, that's something.
I had a lot of fun. It was a great experience.
Really,
to meet the people, to meet a lot of different people, and to know that I'm representing us and what I'm doing. So that was wonderful.
Yeah, you did that, and then you did a lot of you did a lot of stations. You do a lot of mixes for different stations around the country. So I think that's awesome. Now, okay, Poison Ivy is the DJ. I should guess. Now you ain't DJing, are you? For the Dallas Mavericks.
I'm actually back.
Are you?
Yeah. By popular demand, I guess I can say. But yes, we're ebb and flow. But yes, I am
the Dallas Mavericks. And then I see you going all over the world now DJing.
Yes.
Where have you been? Tell everybody where you've been to DJ. Poison Ivy, come on.
Man, everywhere and back. But I've spent a lot of time on the continent. You know what I mean? I spent a lot of time in Africa.
That's when you know you're rich and you've been somewhere. She said on the continent. And I was getting ready to say, which one now? Which one?
I was like, she's doing continents.
Yeah, she is. So. Yeah, she is. I do states. This baby girl just said, I do continents. All right, now.
It's only 7. You know what I mean? 7, 50 states.
And you've been on about 6 of them at least. I've been on 1.
No. Antarctica's next.
Right. I got one more. No, I'm joking.
With the aliens? No, I'm joking.
Space. No. Right. I think for me, music has been a language that I've been able to use to communicate, a lot of different ways. And for me, all the music coming from Africa now,
I love it.
All of it.
I'm so proud. I love it when I hear it.
Yes.
Even though I'm from the United States, I'm rooting. I don't know where I'm from, but I see folks who look like me. I'm rooting.
No, we're gonna find you a spot. There's too many places that you can claim. But I think again, being able to work at the intersection of music and so many other things, whether it's lifestyle, sports, it's a common language that a lot of people speak, and I just feel fortunate enough, to be able to almost translate it.
Yeah. I'm glad to see a lot more females get into it, because remember, Steve, I know when you first you hardly ever saw a female DJ.
None.
right?
None.
Ain't that a trip?
When I first started, Spinderella was and shouts out to Spinderella.
Yeah.
That's the only one I saw at the time. No, Spinderella and Jazzy Joyce.
Jazzy
Wow.
Joyce, Coco Chanel.
So yeah, Coco Chanel, who I met in Houston. I saw her, but it was very male dominated, and so yeah, it was crazy. But actually, and I'm gonna bring you into this as well. There's a shout out to you both, because both of you guys came in around 2016, 2017, which is when a lot of things had taken off musically and for women.
For women. Even looking at rap right now, right?
Yeah.
You look at that, y'all.
So you came in with your show around that time.
Nationally syndicate, yep.
And it's taken off to
space.
And I had brought you.
I was gonna say shout out to you
because I was getting. Go ahead.
You know,
go ahead.
I mean,
gonna give him his flowers.
Both of you.
Wait,
really.
we gotta give this. I always say this. I gotta give this man his flowers,
Yes.
and I'm gonna tell you why. And I was saying it to our producer Gary. I always tell Breeze this about it too. So when I got to the radio, I was working at Doug Banks, and again, I just love Steve's. Let me tell you why I like Steve's mixes, because I know he black. I can listen to you can listen to his mixes every now and then. It'd be so goddamn black. He does our mixes in the morning nationally on our show, everything. Let me tell y'all, Steve Nice will do some mixes, and we all stop and go, I feel like I'm at the club early this morning, and there's a bass in it that I go, that's a man doing that mix. There's a bass, right? There's something in it that I go, God dang, that's funky. Like, that's like this. So anyways, so I want to say to you, number one, I'm going to give you flowers right now, right? I'm going to give you your flowers. And the reason why I say this is you supported me from day one. Yes. I remember being on the show before the show got syndicated, before it got my name on it. Steve Nice told me, stay with it. Don't get discouraged. You're going to be big. You like the Oprah. He would always give me words of encouragement when I was feeling my lower. He didn't even know on days that my husband had pushed me to get out of bed to come into the job. Yeah. And he would say things to me.
You are, I still see it. You are the Oprah.
You're so kind. I wish and hope and pray.
Hey,
no, it's coming.
It is.
I hope so. Let's see.
When we saw the vision for the show, and now we're seeing as far as going, you're only going to go where you want to go.
But as a man, you get what I'm saying. It felt good,
it
right?
Helps. It helps to have
what
that.
did he do? Go ahead, give him his flowers, girl.
First of all, I was gonna say it feels weird. Not weird, but it's great to sit here. Because listen, I grew up listening to the station. So many personalities here. I grew up listening to, watching, and for him to hire me, not only me, but Duffy and She Real, and bring on, that was so important, integral, because a lot of stations in the country weren't doing that. It was very much, like
shouts out to K104 Service Broadcasting.
Absolutely, yes. You know what I mean? But beyond that, I also remember coming in to my interview and you were there.
I was?
And
what did I say?
You were like, come on, girl, you know what I'm saying? We can do this thing again. It was great to have you there because you represent everything that we aspire for, right? So having a female-led morning show, like, yes, I want to be a part of that station. So it just felt like the right thing to do. So thank you and thank you, for
But look at you now, girl, doing the big thing.
And that's the thing is that what I was getting to is that it all came together at the right time. Even with Afro-beats, which has been about 2-3 years old. When you came in, you came in on the forefront of it.
Yes, you did.
And now it's the biggest thing in the world.
Isn't it great though? It's about time, right?
Yes.
And she had been talking about it since 2016.
I thought you were about tired of me.
She's like, this is big. And I'm like, yeah, it sounds nice.
It's coming.
It sounds nice. And another guy, DJ Mars in Atlanta, shouts out to him. He was like, bro, I've been all over the world. I was like, it sounds good, bro. I said, I have a DJ here who is really behind it. She is really behind it. I was like, I understand why she's behind it. But she was right.
So let me ask you, do you guys realize, and tell me what you think, do you think that the success or the rise or the popularity, I should say, of the Afro-beats, is it because of, do you think it's social media?
It's social media, but I'm going to tell you what it is, too, if you ask me. It's us kids growing up stateside. You got to remember, you got to think about the population of really globally, America. We all immigrate or migrate somewhere. Our parents are, some of us are first gen, some of us second gen. But we go through this phase where you're searching for your identity. And a lot of it for me, that's how I discovered the music, was because I was like, what do they listen to? I mean, I know what they eat. Right. I know the language. Right. And I know all those things. But what is cool for them? And so ask anybody my age, WizKid, David, you know what I mean? Burna, all of them. We found ourselves in those kids who were able to fuse R&B and hip hop and rap with all the different languages, Right. And now you look at the industry, you're looking at record execs, you're looking at the athletes, you're looking at the landscape. It's all of us.
Right.
And so we're just sharing what we listen to.
Right.
It's a lot of us. And it's good music.
Yeah.
It's feel good music, you know?
It's
So,
very
yeah.
feel good music.
I love it though, and I love it that it's in the forefront. And again, when I hear it every night, I just be like, God dang it, I'm so glad to see, you know what I mean, people of color or people. Guess what? The global majority. That's
Of
what it
us.
really is.
Yeah.
Because that's what somebody told me. We all got to stop talking about we're minorities.
No.
The truth of the matter is, people of color are the global
The
majority.
global majority. And I think for me, beyond it being successful, and honestly, two things. For us as African kids, we're told you got to grow up. You already know you're going to be a lawyer, a teacher, a doctor, and that's it. So now to see us being successful at being artists and athletes and all the things that we weren't pushed to do, it's such an eye-opener for everybody else. But beyond that, for me personally, I hope it's a conversation piece for us to welcome everybody back home. So you're seeing like Afrochella and all these big festivals and reasons for people to come back to the continent.
Right.
Music is just that bridge for
It
us to
is.
have that conversation.
It is.
You know,
But I love what it's doing. It's giving exposure, and it's
Exactly.
showing the talent. It's
Mhm.
showing the level of talent. It's showing, I think for me, I get annoyed. And which, by the way, you said something though, and we're going to talk about not here. We don't have to come back
Mhm.
because I know Steve would get in on this. And I was talking to somebody about Caribbean parents, Caribbean Afro, African
All of
parents, or
them.
they teach their kids differently than our parents did.
Yes.
Our parents when you're African American in this country, education, you said what they wanted for you was lawyer, this. Our parents are saying, you got to get out there and get a job, because that's what all they knew in this country was we had to work just to survive.
Yes.
Y'all were talking about education. Am I wrong? But you get what I'm saying?
My mom was an educator. So yes, that was education, get you a good job so you can get ahead in life. Period.
And it wasn't about also exploring your artistic side now either. Right?
No,
You just had to get a job.
yeah, my
and get
mom-
up out of here.
My mom, who will not admit this now, hopefully you're not watching this, mom.
Hey, mama,
when-
job. It's all good. You did a good.
When I told her, when I finally got in the radio, she was like, "What?"
Right.
So
Because you went to college.
Yeah, I told her I was because I was supposed to come home in 1992 to it was right before my senior year,
Uh-huh.
and instead I turned down my job at home, said I got an internship here with 97.9 The Box, and she was like,
Houston.
yeah, she was like, eh?
So wait a minute. So you did graduate from college?
No, but I'm finished.
Excuse me?
Nothing.
What school did you go to?
University of Arkansas Pine Bluff and Texas Southern was my last
All right.
school.
So you have you're a few semesters short?
Yeah,
Or I mean, what is it called? Credits. You can say I didn't stay in but a
credits.
semester. You hear me?
Yeah,
I didn't stay in but a
yeah,
semester.
I'm about a semester short.
All right. You graduated.
I did.
You went to where, Mark?
I went to Marquette.
Mhm.
But I will say this: I took a year off of school for that very same reason.
Really?
Yeah, because my career was booming. I was getting ready to move and everything in between. And if I were to redo the education system over, I feel like you had to mandate a gap year. Don't nobody know what they want to do at 18. You know, but I finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because look, I know.
Once I got hired, I was like, I'm going to school for communications anyway.
So you got the job. So what am I doing?
I
What
got
am
the
I
job.
doing?
I got the job ahead of the degree.
Right.
I was like,
So
I don't have to go to school for it.
So now, what would you say? Here's a question. They always talk about DJs, and they talk about the fact y'all can't stand when nobody come up and request a song, huh?
No.
Why?
Because,
Why do you hate it,
because-
Steve?
I don't come to your job and tell you what to do.
Oh.
Because I'm so focused. I'm gonna play this song anyway, but
But there's a vibe you're doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna get here. You're gonna hear the song.
So what is it y'all are thinking? When somebody comes and requests a song, are you thinking in your mind, here's a vibe, a flow I'm doing, and I'm going to get to because I know it's hot, but it just doesn't go right
Steve,
now? What is it?
See, I got a question to you.
Screw that. Play this.
Right.
Like, do not put the phone in my face. I don't. If you that's what you want to hear. Well, go to the car and listen to it.
And they want to hear it now. As in, like, they'll stand there and they be like, you gonna play it? You gonna play it? You gonna play it? And it's like,
Okay.
We about to leave.
Okay.
Go.
What?
bye. See you later.
This Negro said go. Okay. Steve, y'all, I was curious about this. What is the one song that you know for a fact? This is your number one song you can put on any wherever that you know people gonna get up. What's that song?
You got any Drake?
It's a lie. It's Drake.
Play some Drake.
Or
Wow.
future.
Or Future.
Or while we're playing it.
Oh wow. Are you serious?
Yeah, no,
while,
actually,
while it's on.
you wouldn't be surprised how many people come ask for a song you just play. I'm like, where were you? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they're like, oh, play it again. It's not a jukebox.
Wow.
Play it over.
Damn.
Or since we're talking about it, play some Afro-beats.
Oh God, don't get me started.
I'm playing it now.
Right.
Oh, well, play another one. I'm in the middle. Why are we talking?
So let me ask you.
You
You
like,
just,
why are you talking to me? Actually,
Okay.
yes.
So hold on a second. Y'all just said something about Drake. Is Drake the Michael Jackson of this era, or is it Chris Brown, or is it Beyonce?
I just had this conversation. Beyonce is Michael Jackson.
She's Michael.
And
Yes.
and well, it's different to me.
Well, I feel you. I agree. I'm just saying, can we just? I saw something the other day, DeDe, as a woman. Like,
Come on.
I would say this. Like, for some reason, I don't know why it is so hard for us to just give Beyonce her damn flowers. Anybody else, as from a race perspective, from a gender perspective, we want to put Drake, Chris Brown, all these guys ahead of her. From the race perspective, Adele, Katie, all these people can do anything else.
But they just won't give her.
Give her damn moment.
It's the fear of a black woman.
And it's so I read that and it broke my heart because tell me what she's done wrong. Nothing.
Be alive.
That's it.
And you know, they're trying to say now, I saw something today where they were trying to say her sales for her album, this is her third week out, and they're down 74%.
Who gives a
They did. They went through this whole thing.
She has a number one.
Do you
album
like her album?
She has the number one album in the world.
Do you like her album?
phenomenal.
I like it
Did you like the direction she went in?
Yes,
You did? Why?
because she's doing what she wants to do,
Yeah.
and she's not listening to what's currently going on or what's. She's like, this is what I want to do, and and everybody's like, yeah, do that. We like it.
Now,
Can I
on a
answer
side
that?
note, I'm just going to tell y'all, and one day I will talk about it, but I'm going to tell you who I really like. It's Solange.
Always Marsha beat her own drum. And again,
And I think Beyonce took some inspiration from the sister.
All
I
of
really
it.
do. I think she saw what Beyonce started doing, especially that album, that last one she had, and the Black is King and everything. That is what Solange was doing. Y'all realize Solange's second
was
album?
way ahead of her time.
Yeah.
She was also the little sister.
Yep.
You feel me?
And so she got to play, but she got to also be her. I just saw
And
so much. Congrats. Let me shout out to, because see, I'm a fan, right? And I'm a fan of Beyonce. What I tell you, I'm a fan of the daddy.
Yes.
We'll get into that. But Solange now has just created a score, did something for a ballet or something. Y'all see this?
Her writers go,
I said, this girl, but what she was doing, she did Don't Touch that album.
Don't touch
The whole mood of that album, nobody paid attention to that. Beyonce came back and did something very, she's in that vibe, which also goes to their mother. Shouts out to Tina Knowles and the daddy, raising them to understand and embrace who they are as Black women and their culture. But Beyonce probably couldn't do it because at the time she had all these other ones in her ear, but then she got confident enough to say, I got to do me and I got to embrace who I am as a Black woman. Right.
That's why I love the most about this album is she's talking her shit. That's it. The whole album, she is purely talking. And
Now,
yeah.
But this is my only criticism for her. Y'all ready? One of the things that I hear her talking her shit, I want this to be her last album to talk shit. And the reason why is this, there's no need to talk anymore. We know who you are, Beyonce. We know you that bitch. We know you that chick. We know you are right here, right? Now get back to showing everybody what your vocals are now. Because all of this different...
Rapper Beyonce.
Yeah, though I'm rapping, I'm cool, I'm this, I'm... You know, I get that.
You know who her husband is, right?
But I get it.
Okay.
But let me tell you what got her there. The girl got vocals.
Yes.
The girl's got a beautiful voice. She's got an instrument that she uses to perfection to me. The way she does her run. We loved Money Long. I'm going to tell you why Money Long, I always told everybody. I thought Money Long, what she did because it was beautiful, because we had somebody go back to singing. And really, that should have been a Beyonce song because Beyonce got the vocals too, but we didn't go there. And I often tell people that, and I'm glad that let me tell you why I said I was glad she took the direction that she did. Because, you know, you get to an age of 40. What is she, 40 now? About to turn 40?
41?
41, 40?
No, she turns 40 next year.
Yeah, I was going to say, we got a big birthday.
September
coming
or
up.
next year, whatever it
No,
is.
next year.
The last time, think about it, Mariah Carey stayed in the same thing and couldn't go past it after the age of 40. Her last hit had to be, her real hit had to be what, 38, 39, whatever it was, right?
Whatever age that Christmas song was.
Okay. Well,
I was going to say, which,
well, hold on.
right.
We're going to hear that
That's
every
That's a
year.
different conversation for us.
That there was one song, I can't think about it.
We belong together.
Janet Jackson
Yes.
got to a point, but they kept doing the same type, thinking I can come back and do. So I give her credit, Beyonce credit, for doing this dance because she went. It's what Lady Gaga did. I thought Lady Gaga was brilliant when she did this Tony Bennett stuff.
Oh,
Remember that?
Brilliant.
Right? To kind of go in to show a different side. So I was okay with her dance. But I used to say that Beyonce still, though, and I say this, her vocals are so good. I said, I want to see a concert where Beyonce goes out and says, I ain't dancing. I ain't got no pyrotechnics. Yeah. I ain't got no background dancers. Prince did it once. He did something called a concert in the round where it was just him and his piano. And it sold out. And I said, give me Beyonce and the piano. Let me hear these vocals. Because this girl's vocals, they dismiss them. Because certainly in the last 3 albums, she hasn't been fluidly singing.
I think that we should teach a case study on Beyonce because I feel like there's, like you said, singer Beyonce. Then there's the celebrity figure.
Right.
I remember, I think, I forget what tour it was, but she had this message and it stuck with me where on the screen, she was like, the subtitle was like, I am not God. I feel like for whatever reason, she has been heralded into this, like,
they do that,
this thing where we forget that she's actually just a singer.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing that's interesting too, because we were talking before we got on, started doing the podcast, Steve and I was talking about, Serena Williams again, King Richard, and I was talking about her dad who doesn't get his flowers, and everybody said he was crazy. But when you look at who Serena and Venus are today, and when you look at what he was doing and how he did it, some people didn't think it was, when you look at the Jacksons, the Joe Jackson. Mm-hmm. But when you look at Beyonce's daddy not getting his flowers,
Matthew
Knowles, to me, that man taught them girls how to stand up there and perform in heels. He trained them the way they did back in the day. We were talking about, you said the reason why artists today aren't as good on interviews or this and that, they don't have as many great A&R departments. Mm-hmm. But Matthew Knowles didn't know, but what he did know is I'm going to train them the way they did with Motown back in the day, the way Barry Gordon.
And
he
sing.
Took it, sing, run, interview training, right? Interview training and this and that. So I said, they need their flowers. But Steve Nice told me a story I never knew. Steve, you knew them back in the day when you were in Houston.
Yeah, when they were 12 years old, as a group called Destiny, they signed Elektra Records. And when they transferred over to being Destiny's Child, as they got dropped from Elektra, right before the first album came out, the father asked me and a coworker at the time to come over and listen to the album. It was about 2:00 in the afternoon, and the girls hadn't got home yet from high school. And we're sitting there listening to the album. He said, yeah, I want you guys to come over and check out the album. The girls will be home in a minute. I'm like, okay, cool. So listen to it. We're like, we're tapping each other. This album is great. He's like, you guys like this album? We was like, yeah, you got something there. And then the girls came in. It was like, oh my God, Steve is here. Oh,
that's so cool.
Do you like our album? We was like, yeah, you girls are pretty good. Pretty damn. And it was right before Wyclef came and remixed the No 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 song. Because he had performed in Houston that weekend. So we had saw that evolution of them.
Yeah.
But going back to what you were saying is Black fathers don't get the flowers they deserve in the industry, period.
I mean, for real, that man protected her and them girls, Kelly, all of them, right? Can you imagine the advantage? People would have taken advantage had they done it on and her mother too. Again, they were a team.
They were blessed.
They were blessed to have their mother. And the fact that even her mother felt and knew and was doing the costumes and when we really look at it, that family deserves their flowers, the mom and dad.
I can't wait to see that biopic, honestly. I'm waiting on it. If we ever will. I don't know if we will.
Right. But
even if you think about it, if you saw the New Edition movie.
Yep.
And even though none of the fathers were there.
Right.
And the mothers were trying to be very overprotective, but you saw the record companies come in and start to be able to divide them up. Infiltrate. Give them a little bit of money here and there. When you start seeing Matthew Knowles and Joe Jackson and
Serena's daddy, King Richard, right?
They were protected.
Yes, they were.
They formed a bond of protection because that father was there to say, "You're not going to take advantage of my kids."
And he wouldn't allow it, would he?
No.
They wouldn't.
No.
And it seemed to be portrayed like they were these big, bad, horrible fathers. But that's pretty much how we were raised. I got butt whoopings when I was acting bad.
Right. Right. Me too. I am daddy.
And like we had this conversation earlier. Michael had been Michael since the late 60s, all throughout the 70s and 80s. So when he started just saying, yeah, my father was a little harsh. And my dad was like, that's how we treat all y'all. So what are you talking about? So, but the general perception was Mike had an abusive father.
Right.
No, that's how most black kids were raised
Right.
back in the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Abuse and discipline, man. It's a because the level of discipline that it takes to be, I work around athletes and I feel like that's like, very similar to any performer. The level of discipline that it takes to perform day in, day out. And this is something that you're going against your body. You know what I mean? It is insane.
Yeah.
And to think that to instill that, it takes that. It takes going into shape. It takes some crazy shit, to be honest.
Yeah, it does. To be great like that.
To be great like that. You know what I mean? But
be one of the greatest in the world to get to that level.
We never will understand that. You know what I mean? So we can't talk about something you don't understand.
No.
You know?
Correct.
And I agree with that.
This is your child.
I agree with that.
You know?
By the way, I'm a fan of LeBron James.
Oh my gosh. What? Yes.
You just because you're around the athletes. I just wanted to throw that in real quick.
I know.
What are your thoughts on him? What did he look like? And I've never met, as much as I've been doing radio, meeting everybody.
Yeah.
I never met LeBron James, and I'm a fan.
You will meet him.
We got to figure out. I'm gonna say it's coming. It'll be in the most.
And I'm gonna tell you what I can't stand. Let me tell you something. You just made me think about what they say about black fathers. That's a man who's in his children's lives. He's with that same girl he's been with since high school.
17 years
They're
old.
representing the most beautiful black family we've seen with that
time.
beautiful daughter.
Missouri.
Oh my gosh! But when you look at it here, same thing with who was it? The Ball brothers' daddy.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Remember how they were making him look like he was braggadocious and all
Y'all
this.
ain't gonna make me write this book right now.
He was behind his kids. He supported his children, and now they're all pro.
We have to thank Mr. Ball for he was NIL before NIL was a thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Look what they do, but look what happens, you guys.
Exactly.
How the press portrays black men who are trying to protect their children, whether it's their daughters, their sons. That man knows that his sons were great. There were certain things he's trying to implement, and I get it. And they made him seem like he's crazy. They made Venus and guy's daddy seem crazy. People are trying to make it seem like Matthew Knowles is a crook. But you guys know this, right?
This is where you come in. This is where you talk about media. I think we could talk about media all day, every day, but there's two sides to every coin, right? So we have mass media, and now you are such a huge integral part of that. So even you having this conversation is helping to debunk those myths because we're having to go against forces that overpower us. But guess what? Now it's more black personalities, it's more women personalities, it's more people with opinions, and will tell you what you want to hear and what you don't want to hear. Yeah. So this is great. Keep talking about it, and eventually somebody will be like, you know what? Maybe they weren't so crazy.
Right, because that's what they try to do. They every time you stand up for yourself or you represent excellence, and it's like all of a sudden we're gonna tear it down. We're gonna tear you down a little bit, right? It's always like and I can't stand seeing it. So that's why I said when we were having the conversation beforehand about Matthew Knowles. I'm like, and everybody has their ills. Now, listen, I ain't saying the man, anybody's perfect. But what I'm saying is give credit where credit is due. Yes. And as everybody talks about flowers, and I always do that on this podcast, because one of the dope ass things I think is to give people their flowers when they're here.
While they are here.
Right. We all sitting up here, saying certain things. So I know I'm almost done because I'm not going to keep y'all too long. But what do you think about rap today? Where is rap going? Are the Migos done, and where is rap going today? Steve Nice, come on, what?
No, they're not done.
And you don't think they're done because they're saying, are they still a group or what?
And that's another thing is that people want to come in and they see what they've had as a group. Now they want to break them up because it's about time because they've been out since 2013, so it's been about 9 years. So
but you're saying there's only a 9 or 10 year run for an artist?
It actually is only a 3-album run.
Really?
I'll get into that conversation later.
Wow.
But now people are like, okay, let's see what we can do if we can divide them up. That's one of the greatest. The Migos are one of the greatest groups of our time.
Say that.
To have a 9-year run is incredible.
As rappers,
as
rappers,
too.
Yeah.
As rappers, and so for to see them try to see how Quavo's going to do on his own and take off on his own, let them stay together. And if they want to do separate projects, let them do separate projects. But stop trying to break them up. And I think going into the rap era. I love rap now as people, as they're able to become young men and take their careers where they want to go. And now you have an ability to not have to sign with a major label.
Yeah.
You can stay independent.
Think that's great.
You can make your money. It's easier for you to get your music out directly to the consumer. And you don't have to keep these
But are
middlemen.
superstars being created? Because you have such access. You get what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know if anybody heard the story about Tom Cruise. And they're saying Tom Cruise is the last superstar. He's the last movie star. I'm sorry. The last movie star.
He's the last movie star of that era.
We knew it.
There'll be another one.
Because what they're saying is, hold on, but the movie stars are going to be what, on Netflix? They're gonna be on Amazon. They not. Who's going to the movies now?
Because
Who's the movie star that you'll go to the movies to see?
Because the movie is time.
Are we still going to the movies?
That's it. That's the other question too. Yeah,
and exactly that's what I'm saying is that the movie houses are closing down.
Yeah.
So they're scared about last movie.
Hysteria is a thing. Like even with Migos, if you paid attention, Quavo did Honcho Jack. Yeah. Like Offset did solo feature. So why is it that when they come out and they actually acknowledge publicly that, okay, we're going our separate ways because of business, whatever it is, or not even separate ways, but here's what's happening. Like we
solo
love
projects.
to create this hysteria.
Oh, they hate each other.
Like who even said that?
But here's the other question also real quick about music. Drake as a rapper doing what he did his last album is somebody said he's destroying rap. Is he destroying it?
No, he's not. It's not like he doesn't want to rap anymore. He wants to do something different. What's wrong with that?
Do you know me? Like, this is where I have to, like, I feel like, and you can relate, like, being, as a creative, we're going to start embracing the era of the creative, the multi-hyphenate creative, right? Like, this whole, first of all, like, being put in a box is probably the worst thing you would ever do to, like, a creative. Because if you're like me or Drake or whoever, he's be like, all right, allow me to show you. Because while you over here talking shit, I have the #1 dance album, like, in the world. That I mean, my bag is secure. So you can look at it from a fiscal perspective, but look at it from a pure talent and influence and whatever perspective. Like you cannot dim that man's light he started as an actor. Have we forgotten?
I know
what I mean?
And I love that. I love to see these folks that everybody that evolves and all this other kind of stuff. All right, so listen, I'm not, like I said, I can talk to y'all all day about music.
This is part 1.
I really can. Yeah, it is. It's part 1. And the reason why I can talk, it was so funny. I did an interview with Tank, right? Mm-hmm. Talking to Tank. Tank says it's going to be his last, and we were having a conversation. And I was asking him some questions about, because his R&B money is about talking to R&B artists. And I said, I really would love to talk to DJs and stuff like that, because here's the other part about it. People don't realize what we do and how we come into contact with artists. We're listening to music all day. We're seeing what the people like. We get, and you guys see it even more because you see it instantaneously. Mm-hmm. I'm on the mic behind, on a radio station, but y'all are out there, you know what I mean? And you see what they're liking and everything else. What are people really liking? Because I read an article that said people have come up out of this pandemic and what they really want are songs they can sing to and dance to that's positive. Is that what you're seeing when people are asking for songs? Yeah, because that song, that is all about vibe, vibration, energy. You know what I mean? Is that what people want right now? They want to dance, or do they want hip hop? What they want, really?
I think they want a little bit of everything.
Okay.
They want the Break My Soul. They want the Afro-beats. They also want Glorilla.
Okay.
So it's like they want it all. And they want what they want. I mean, I love it. And another thing about even the current state of music and the current state of the audience is that the audiences are starting to gravitate towards everything instead of just one thing.
Genre,
which
thing.
Is what makes it, I guess, if you're not
universal. Music is what do they call it? Universal is the
language.
Yep.
And I think what makes it hard for some DJs is if you're used to playing in a traditional way where you're playing sets and you don't know how to blend and how to do it all, because people right now, to cap it off, is like people want to express themselves. They want to feel seen and they want to feel heard. So whether it's Dochi or FNF or Afro-beats or Latin music or house music, people just want to feel like they are represented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know y'all ain't gonna say it because I would love to know the artists that you've encountered that you thought, boy, they were mean, they were nasty.
Oh no, I
you'll say it.
Steve will.
Come on, who would you say? Who would you say?
I have. It was so funny. It was really a 10-year turnaround. Mary J. Blige.
Yep. She used to be difficult at
the
first.
Summer of 1992. I started as an intern, and the Uptown MCA rep Mel Smith, shout out to Mel.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he was.
Oh wow!
So he was back then. He was a New York fly nigga from. I'm from Uptown. I was like, all right, cool. He's like, yo, I got Mary J. Blige. And when I hear this, at the time, I'm always a fan of his, but I was a fan, like coming right off the fan. I was like, from the Strictly Business soundtrack.
Wow.
I was like, oh my God. So she's coming in, she's sitting down, and I'm sitting out on the couch by the receptionist desk. She comes in. I'm like, Steve, I work here. Nice to meet you, and welcome to Houston.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. I think I interrupted something. Then one of my coworkers, the guy actually got me hired, Jay Label, came out. He's like, "Hey, this man just spoke to you.
Wow.
Straighten your attitude up. You're new here, and you have a lot of more of these to do."
Yep.
And then my mom like, "No, Jay, don't upset her.
Don't put on me.
Yeah.
But he was like, "No, she did not have the right to treat you like that. She's an artist."
You know, my brother always says this about Mary J. Blige. You know, he always says that back then, right? Think about it. In the 90s, when Mary J. was out, you have Whitney doing her thing. He said everybody would have thought that the career that Mary J. Blige has today was supposed to be Whitney Houston's, right? He said everybody assumed. Think about it. Back then, you would have thought where Mary is today would have been Whitney, right? And it's a trip that Mary started out as that hip hop chick, right, with her combat boots on. But Mary is now the queen.
Evolution.
Right?
Yes.
Isn't that beautiful, right? It's a beautiful thing.
And that go back to the evolution. So 10 years later, I'm on the air. Like, yeah, you got to interview Mary today. Mary J. Blige.
And you were nervous? You were like scared because you thought she was going to be mean?
No, because
PTSD?
I started seeing her evolution. So she had started talking about her early days when she used to be mean and she didn't understand things. So she sat down. I said, "Ma'am, you don't remember me." I said, "But 10 years ago, you were the first person I ever met working at a radio station."
Wow.
And you were an asshole. She said, "I am so sorry." I said, "No, you don't have to apologize." I said, you have evolved to this person. I think it's great.
Can I tell you what I love? Is the fact you went up to Mary J. Blige and you told her she was an asshole.
Honey, let me tell you what I wouldn't have done. It is that.
Me either. That's Steve Nice, right? DJ Steve Nice. Now, what about yours? Who you met?
Well, you know what? I will tell you this. Look, I'm that person. I will flip everything and find the positive in all.
Me too.
Those
I
things.
try my best.
But I think one artist that I wish everybody would have had the chance to get, and I feel like it was untimely, and we just celebrated a birthday, and goes back to your point of making sure you give everybody their flowers while they are here, is Nipsey Hussle.
Wow.
Yes.
Nipsey, and I've met a few artists like this, but this is why I feel like in this business, I've debunked celebrity, and I just treat everybody like a regular human being. But Nipsey made you feel like, wait, who's who here? You know what I mean? Very down to earth. I almost lost my life with him. We were talking about that, but nonetheless. But just so down to earth, so grounded, and an ability to connect with each and every person on a deep, deep, deep level. You know what I mean? Take the time, conversation, the whole nine. I'll never forget. That's an interaction that I will just absolutely never forget. And now, obviously, for obvious reasons.
Right.
But that was.
Has there ever been an artist that you guys disregarded? Because I can tell you one about our producer, Gary, who produces our morning show. No, I can just tell the story, y'all. I swear to God, Gary and I used to work together on the Doug Banks show, and Alicia Keys was coming through the station, through the network. We were syndicated, and everybody said, "Hey, we got this woman, Alicia Keys, coming through." And White Gary said, I said, "Gary, do we have to stay to do this interview?" Gary said, "Nah, she ain't gonna be around." Wasn't it something like that, Gary?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
No, we're not. I got to do my last one. We're going to do Musically. This right here is called Musically Correct, everybody. These are my questions for you guys as you DJs. Right. I need you to finish, right? So if I say this, Missy couldn't stand the what?
Rain.
There it is. Look at the DJs. All right. DJ Steve Nice, I'm going to throw it to you. Go back. Here we go. DJ Steve Nice. A Daddy Mac will make you what? Wait, hold on. A, fat. B, thirsty. C, run. Or D, jump. A Daddy Mac will what? Make it jump. Okay, here's another one.
Oh, boy.
DJ, Poison Ivy.
Uh-oh.
How does Jay-Z reintroduce himself?
Jay-Z.
How does Jay-Z reintroduce himself?
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
My name is Ho. All right, here we go.
Right.
DJ Steve Nice. Here we go. Who did Tupac say got a baby?
Brenda.
There it is. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding,
You can
ding,
tell
ding.
they know all these. They jumping out.
I'm nervous now. Hold on, because I'm like, I don't want to be the one. All right, you gotta help me out.
All right.
Okay.
DJ Poison Ivy.
Lord.
What does T.I. have the crowd yelling?
I gotta yelling, bring him out. All right, cool.
All right. And then finally, DJ Steve Nice. How many earrings did LL want his girl to have?
I'm glad you got this one.
I mean, earrings?
How many earrings?
Is it Around the Way Girl?
No. Yeah, how many girl?
Oh, Steve, I can't believe you don't know this.
At least two.
At least two pair.
The bamboo earrings.
At least two pair.
Okay,
There it is. a Fendi bag in
Oh,
the
I
bag.
like this game. Didi.
Yep.
Can we have a podcast where we just play this game?
Yeah,
though?
we sure can. We're
All
gonna
right,
do
bet.
just only musically correct. I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate.
Thank you
I'm gonna have
for
to clap it up for
having
y'all
me.
right now, y'all. I appreciate this.
Flowers to you, man.
Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate it.
this is
Thank you,
part
thank
one.
you. Yes.
I need y'all back.
We'll do it again.
We're gonna play musically correct all day then.
All day.
And talk about some more stuff. Y'all make sure you follow them. Let them know how to follow you online, all that other kind of stuff. Come on, DJ Steve Nice.
Follow me on all platforms at DJ Steve Nice, at DJ STEVENICE.
And you're still taking, are you still like doing, mixes for everybody all over the
Yes,
country?
still doing.
And if you need them to mix for you, hit them up. All right.
DJ
And
Steve Nice at gmail.com if you need something.
all right,
Legendary
and go
Steve
ahead.
Nice.
Poison Ivy.
At Poison Ivy, the DJ. Poison. That's with the Z. Shout out to all my Zetas out there. Yeah,
That's what the Z is for.
That's what it
yeah.
is.
Oh, if you never knew that, that's what it's for. Yes.
Yep. DJ Poison
Poison
Ivy.
Ivy.
The Z.
The Z.
All right. And listen, you can follow me, DeDe, of course, DeDe's Dope Podcast, DeDe in the Morning. Appreciate everybody. All right. We're done, y'all. We're done. Till next week.
Go Mavs.
What's the tea? What's the vibe? What's the hype? Yeah, we live. Talk a little this, a little bit of that, a little bit of love, a little bit of shit. That's DeDe. Go DeDe. Go DeDe. Go DeDe. You a bad bitch. You a savage. Making money is a habit.